All right, here we are. It is Monday, January 22nd, 4:30 in the afternoon or so. Didn't get anything recorded or done this weekend. Had a baby shower, actually a birthday, sorry. Birthday Saturday. I got a baby shower this Saturday. This next coming up one. So, anyway, yesterday, Sunday, was just a mess. I had this wheel come apart, power was out, couldn't get nothing done. I tried to pop it back together with some start fluid that I had, but it was not igniting very well, so I'm just gonna take it to Hubcaps Galore, New Albany, Indiana. So I'm gonna take it. They did those before. I bought those, they're already stretched. I had to get one of them. Somebody had let a ball joint fail, so I had to buy a brand new wheel and tire. Anyway, yeah, they did it. So I'm gonna let them do it again. All right, as far as the 4th gen goes, I'm done with it. This thing is done. It's ready to go back to the guy that wants this cab. So got all the door panels out, all the windows are still in. I may take some 2x4s or something, slide the windows all the way up, stuff 2x4s in there, make it environmentally safe for the truck itself, at least. These inner door panels are here, as you know, if you watch this. Those are outer door panels. There was inner door panels, which is where all the speakers and mechanisms and latches and stuff was. I got all this crap out of the floor except the seats. I'm not sure what to do with those yet. I got the heater box, a bunch of interior components, plastics and crap all on that shelf, and got these seats out of the van still. Not real sure. I just got a lot of crap taking up space. I got a whole bunch of boxes that I'm not going to need. I'm going to just burn those. I got most of this crap down, ready to be thrown in the fire. I just stuffed it plumb full. I'll sweep all this up, burn what I can, throw the rest in the woods. I put my dash wiring thingy majig up there, the base of it that's got the vents and all the wiring on it. You can see there's the heater controls right there. So one of my buddies let me use his wheel dollies. I still have a broke rib, so I'm absolutely useless when it comes to moving heavy stuff. There's the main wiring harness. That was the last major thing to get out of this truck. So anyway, I was able to push it, that far. And that's all I got. So that's all I got. Anyway, I was trying to figure out how to do this. I do want to get a skid steer or a forklift over here. But I think the scenario that's going to actually happen is I'm going to back the back end of the cab. I'm going to spin this truck around, pull this guy out. I took the floor out of that one, just the little transmission tunnel thing. That's all I've done to the C60 so far. Everything's still bolted in, steering column brakes, cab is bolted on in 6 places to the frame. But I'm going to back the cab up where it's right up against that. The back of the cab is going to be right in front of that. And then this cab's got some holes back here, I think, that'll be good to lift it from. Those, they're in a pretty solid piece of metal. And I'll just lift it up. And then, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I think I'm going to use the rafter to support the front of the cab. Over there, it should be strong because it's on that, whatever those things are called. Purlins, maybe? I don't remember. I haven't built one of these in a long freaking time. Got an easy job now. But anyway, for this side, where it's going to be out here towards the middle, I'm not going to lift with my trusses because I think that's disaster waiting to happen. I'll use the engine hoist on the front corner over here, whichever corner's facing the middle of the garage. And then hopefully I'll be able to support it with something to get the hoist out of the way so I can back a trailer under it and slowly lower it down. I may have to get some blocks and tackles. I mean, I could do this with ratchet straps. The only problem is you'll have to use 2 ratchet straps per side, let all the slack out of one, and then the other one's gonna be all balled up as when you lift it, so then you'll have to take another one with all the slack out of it, stick it in the hole, and then lift it, take the slack out of the other one, or take the, you know what I mean. You do it, you'll figure it out. Or when you watch this one, you'll figure it out if I end up doing it that way. So that's where we're at here. But once I get this outside, I'm gonna pressure wash it. I got these little plastic pieces here. I'm gonna pressure wash these two. This is the battery trays and air cleaner box and the air cleaner ducting and then the gas cap door thing. So I want all that to be clean. We're gonna make the old Kia earn some keep around here. It's $29 a week to drive this car, so versus 140. So I think she earned her keep anyway. But yeah, now she's gonna be a tow rig tomorrow. I think I'm about to do some questionable things, but it's the only way I have because I don't have a skid steer. So I'm able to push this a little bit on my own. So got this old ratchet strap here hooked to the orange truck. I cranked her by hand and got her moved over. As far as she is, you know, it's a little bit probably, well, you can see there where that one was. But I think I'm gonna move the Dodge and start the old orange and ease her forward and see what that ends up like. I've got to be able to get specifically that truck in here because it's gonna rain the next 3 days, 80% chance. I really do not want the orange truck outside, but it's not gonna be the first time it's sat in the rain. So if we get this thing in here all cockeyed and we can't get one of the trucks in, I'm gonna be pretty upset about it. So we're gonna have to figure it out. And the reason I'm really concerned about that is because this bay is flat out blocked off. So actually, I think no matter what, since this bay is blocked off, well, I could probably back the orange truck in here. When I get this truck out of this bay, I can probably back this truck in here at enough of an angle to get into this bay and then back the crew cab straight into this bay once I move this thing. And the old Gimp tire looks so goofy, but it got us home, so it's good enough for me, I guess. Well, that's one thing about it. The crew cab fired up like as soon as I turned the key. The old points distributor and a carburetor, they didn't give a crap that it's like 30-some degrees outside. That made me pretty happy. I shut her off because she stinks real bad. The old orange truck's smoking out the garage. I'm out of breath because I'm fat and I just pushed this. Oh, buddy. But that's so far so good. I guess I'm gonna, well, the crew cab's already right here. I'm gonna use the crew cab. I'm gonna move this 4th stem bumper and back her over here, kind of, sorta. And I'll get a ratchet strap and hook to one of them tow mounts, and I'll just pull her straight as well as I can. So far, so good. Well, over the course of the last 2 days, I lifted this thing up after I got it spun around. Today, I took the intercooler out. I really didn't want to have to do that, but those hump edges things there were in the way of this coming straight up on both sides. I left this on there. This is obviously the air conditioning, and then I guess maybe this is the trans cooler. I don't know. I didn't take those apart. I didn't see where those lines go either. Keep on going. Where do they keep on going to? Yeah, so that is the trans cooler, in fact. But anyway, everything's disconnected. I had to fish out this gray wire here. There's 4 of these. They go to each light on the truck, all 4 corners. I'm not real sure what they were. but they went through the floor back there, and there was a fifth one, and it may have been a factory wire because it was black. I don't know, but I fished them all out, managed to not cut them, so that made me happy, even though I'm going to take this wiring harness off. I managed to do this whole project and only cut 2 wires, and I cut those on accident because they were all taped up, and I really thought they were a zip tie, but it's these 2 right here. I would have had to take this wiring harness apart all the way down, probably. Not real sure where they go, but it's these 2. They went into the main harness that goes into there, I believe. So another thing I'm gonna do is get some cardboard and trace this firewall. I took the steering column out today too. I'm gonna trace this firewall, so that way I have these patterns. That's the wiring harness, that would be the clutch, but this truck's an automatic. That's brakes, that's steering column. I don't really remember what that one was. Oh, that was the shifter cable. All right, and then on this side we got, that was the wiring harness that goes down the A-pillar and controls the heater box in there. That's where the air conditioning lines went through. That's where the heater lines went through. And those are just mounts. Not sure what that little hole was. It's probably a drain. That's probably what that was. Anyway, we got this up on blocks. This is very sketchy. I turned the I-beam sideways because there's less chance of them tipping over like this. But honestly, this hoist and my loft up there worked very well to get this done. I didn't have any creaking and popping and any questionable noises coming. I have the slack out of both of these right now because it's sitting on this. I could go up higher because I got to clear this gooseneck ball. I tried to beat that out of there. I had this thing pulled out and I beat on it, but honestly, it'd probably be easier just to take the tires off. This is the next highest thing, the spring purchase back here. So if I just take the tires off and put the diff on a roller or something and just drag it out, that probably will work just fine. And I guess this will take place Sunday when it's not pouring rain and I have somebody to help me. I got one of my buddies wanting to come over. A whole bunch of them were like, yeah, I'll come over. And then I asked them again, I was like, you actually going to? And they're like, nah, I'm not. So this is why I did it this way, in the most sketchy, questionable way possible, because I knew I'd be doing it on my own. And I don't have a skid steer. I really didn't want to impose on anybody and be like, hey, drag it all the way out here in the middle of nowhere where I live. Plus the circular lift pattern of a skid steer. I didn't want to damage this cab. The cab's in pretty good shape. There's this bottom of this door is bent just a hair, and there's a dent in the rocker on the other side, right in that area. But other than that, this cab is solid. A little bitty dent right there. But, you know, somebody just needs to buff this paint if it's going back on a white truck. And they'd have a nice rig. I mean, the truck I bought was a beat up old work truck, and I buffed the paint on it and waxed it real good, and it's looked pretty nice. So, yeah, there's that dent in the rocker. It is a little discolored over here, but I'm sure buffing it will take that right out. Somebody had a logo on the door of my truck, and I had to buff almost all the way to the primer to get that out. So you can see the primer in a few spots, and that logo's still there. So it really did stain the thing pretty bad. So this is it. We're lifted. I think this is gonna be my stopping point for the night. I removed this harness. This is where it went through the cab. And then that black wire was on there too, but I had to yank it apart because this was tangled up in it. This goes to the beeper, which is right here. Don't want that anymore. These were on the back. I'm not real sure what the heck these things are. Somebody out there that's watching this probably knows, but it says public safety systems or something on one of these tags. Yeah, code 3, public safety equipment. So, I don't know, something for whatever construction vehicle this was. So, pretty well just playing the waiting game now until it stops raining. I did bag up all this stuff. I didn't tape the bottom of this because it's so big, but everything else is bagged and taped at the bottom. That big plug, there's some on the other side over there. I did start to take the headlights out, Because I was like, you know what? Maybe the fog light things might work on my truck because those bulbs are blown out. But anyway, I just left them in there. I'm not in any big giant hurry for fog lights on my truck anyway. Or the headlights, I think they have the same plug-in. This truck didn't have fog lights either. But anyway, I'll just leave those together so that way I don't have to tape those wires to be headlights. So with the headlights plugged in, I'll know that's what they are. Anyway, yeah, I took the wheels off, lowered it, put it on the dolly right there. So that lowered it quite a bit. It's pretty well sitting level now. You know, the front sits so freaking low on this truck. But I was thinking, I don't know if I'll actually do this, but I really like these little cargo majigs that 4th gens have. I'm not going to rob them out of this cab because that's technically part of the cab, but I may put some in that truck depending on how bougie I want to be. So, but that's a long ways down the road. Everything else has got to get done first. That's like the lowest level of importance. So Sunday, I guess, or maybe Saturday night, depending on if it's pouring rain or not, I'm gonna drag this outside. I want to use that truck because that is the end of the C60. Once it drags this outside and then backs itself back in the garage under its own power, that is the last time it will be a C60. Because then I'm gonna lift this cab off, drag this frame out, sell it or whatever, and then push this under it, and then it will be a 6.7 Cummins. So that thing's all right. It fires up real good. It just has absolutely terrible brakes, and it's way too tall, and these wheels are ugly, but that's where we're at. Time to go in. We got to go to work here in a few minutes. All right, so I measured the Dodge. It is 89.5. And I think I measured from the front of the door over there on the other truck and this one. That's roughly where the front cab mount is. And they're both right at 83.5. So now this one, where it's 2 single cabs, the second cab mount is pretty well exactly in the middle. But this one, if you look, it's like, I guess technically it is under the A-pillar, but it is further forward, it seems. So I'm probably gonna have to move that. I'm almost certain I'm gonna have to move that one. Probably will be moving these two, I'm sure. It's probably not gonna bolt right up. But they are both very close. You know, an inch here, an inch there. I will have to move it because it does have to line up exactly with these holes. But it is really close.